Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher and today we're talking about lenses. Let's get into it. Nowadays we get so caught up in making choices on camera, color picture profiles, LUTs, all that kind of stuff, and I think one of the biggest things that we forget about is lens choice. Now, of course, there's a lot of discrepancy around lens choice and lens choices of companies and things like that, and that's what I want to clear up today. So today we're going to be talking about the GH5 and what lenses I choose and how they stack up against each other. I think we could all argue the biggest players in the lens game are Canon, Sigma, and Rokinon. Now, although Canon and Sigma are considered higher end lenses, they're usually much more expensive, and of course they're more expensive for a reason, but one of the small players that seems to be getting more and more traction is Rokinon or Samyang. Now, Rokinon and Samyang is an Asian company, and they've been making lenses for quite a while now, and I believe that their lenses have gotten better and better and better. One of the nice things about Rokinon is that they offer micro four thirds lenses, which is great for the GH5. But one of the things that I really wanted to look into was getting an EF mount lens for my camera in case in the future I ever would upgrade to a Canon C200, C300, C500, and or RED cameras or even Alexas. Now, on my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, I had used a Rokinon 35mm and a Rokinon 14mm. Now, those were great lenses, and I honestly can't recommend them enough. They have a nice manual aperture, so it's easy to move if you're moving from outdoors to inside and make those very smooth movements of your aperture. Now, of course, the Sigma 18-35 and 50mm are absolute powerhouses, and they are much more expensive. But I want to see the difference between the Sigma 50 and 18-35 versus my Rokinon Cinema lens. Now, we're going to be going more with lens quality because, of course, these are different mounts and on different sensor and speed boosters and all that kind of stuff, so you're not going to get the exact idea, but I think the biggest thing is sharpness and lens quality is what I want to test. Alright guys, so we're here at the computer, we got those test clips back, and we're going to jump in and see what we got. So this first clip here is pretty much just me sitting next to the window, and the first one is with the Sigma 18-35, and we are at 35mm, and you can see it's at f1.4 and ISO 400, and you can see that it looks really nice, super sharp. This has a little bit of a colored grade on it, but there is no actual like color correction done, so all these are going to be, you know, whatever's out of the camera other than the color. Basically it's a LUT on top. So we can see that right there. Again, looks pretty good, looks nice and sharp. So now we're going to take a look at the Rokinon 35, and as you can see, that was in focus. It is pretty soft, especially compared to the Sigmas. I mean, I know the Sigmas are known for being like surgically sharp, but I mean, something you could totally get away with the shot. Like in the context of the shot, it looks totally fine. I don't think it would totally take away from it. I do think if you were going to punch in, which as you kind of see in the next piece, when we punch in 3 times, you can see how just tack sharp that Sigma lens is compared to that Rokinon, which is just so soft, and you can really see the chromatic aberration, especially up in the glasses here. You can kind of see that like color shifting, almost as if the color channels are like splitting, so you can really see that there. So in this next test, what I did is I made sure to white balance specifically to the camera and the lighting coming in from the window. What I did was I threw my iPhone 10 box and as well as the Lord of the Rings VHS up there. Kind of, you know, 2 totally different color types to see how those colors looked and if the lenses did any shift in color. Now there's no ND filter, and these are at f5, and you can see the Sigma looks really nice, you know, looks very real. The whites look white and pretty much everything just looks normal. Now, although the Rokinon didn't do that bad, you can see that there is definitely a shift in the white. You can sort of see there's not much blue in these, a lot more green and yellow sort of hue. And that's something that you got to remember based on what you're shooting, that could be an issue. If you're shooting something that needs to look very clinical and very white and clean, I definitely would not recommend using the Rokinons because of course you're going to get that sort of yellowy hue, which could almost look dirty. Now granted, I'm not saying you couldn't pull that out in DaVinci Resolve or any color correcting software, but at the same time, you know, if you're not going for that, it just may look a little bit weird. So there's definitely a color shift, and like I said, it's not massive, but you can see. Now in both of these shots, you can tell there's a shift in the actual focus plane and the actual plane depth of field. Now, of course, that's because that the Sigma has a speed booster on it and the Rokinon does not, so obviously there's a little bit of a sensor size there. I tried to compensate as much as possible, but you can still sort of tell when it's a little bit different. Now, granted, that may help you. If you're looking to extend your lenses even further and you're constantly zooming in, you know, using the micro four thirds lens is kind of nice. But obviously, just looking at this, you can really see that the Sigma lenses are so much better. And, you know, I'm not saying the Rokinon lenses are bad, but, you know, 9 times out of 10, I would definitely take the Sigma lenses. Of course, they are expensive, so it's something that if you're worth investing in, but of course, if it's something you can do, I would totally recommend it. So let's hop back over to me. All right, so as you can kind of see, of course, with a higher priced lens and higher quality glass, we get a higher quality and better image. Now, granted, that doesn't mean that the Rokinon or the Samyang brand are bad by any means, and it's something that you shouldn't look into, because I really do believe these are great lenses, and they're especially great if you're starting and you want to just start with a camera and sort of get things going. But that being said, if I were on higher end sets or using them for things like weddings or stuff that, you need a little bit better picture quality, I would definitely go with the Sigma lenses. So I have some really cool news. I just set up a Patreon account where you can go and you can donate a certain amount. Now on Patreon, you can donate monthly, and what that allows you to do is access exclusive content. I'm gonna be doing things like special breakdown videos, hour-long chats, and even some one-on-one sessions with you guys if you want business information, filmmaking tips and tricks, and a lot more. So be sure to check out the Patreon link down in the description below. All right guys, so that wraps up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon.